Esports World Cup and watch him change all his kit numbers. He is very thorough. But this is it. We are officially underway. The big game we've been waiting for. Anders Vejrgang against PHzin at the Esports World Cup. We only hope it can deliver. Just an ounce of what it did in London back in February earlier on this year, which was up there. It's one of the best games, I think, of the season we've seen, Dan. It was ridiculous.
I think the biggest question for me is which Vejrgang are we going to see, right? Are we going to see the FC Open Vejrgang, or are we going to see the FC World Championship Vejrgang? Because they were two entirely different players, and I'm not sure many can touch the player we just saw a few weeks ago at the FC World Championship, and I am expecting Vejrgang to try and find that same form here today.
Speaking of Anders, could be an early start. Mbappe pulls away, little step over, gets the body shape right. The shot was time green, but it was PHzin's icon Petr that did enough just to parry him away. Did catch up with Anders before he kicked off today. I said, has you changed team much from Berlin since we saw it? He said, of course, the obvious upgrades have happened in there, such as Alex Matthäus has come in for Bukayo Saka, which, how well Bukayo Saka was in Berlin for him was a bit of a surprise call from him, but it was the decision that he made, and with the PHzin's promo players that are available, there is no surprise. Goals going in our other games, Dan. It looks like Nathan SR, E Libertadores champion, leads by a goal to nil. Takes
the lead against Goal Poacher, and we'll have to see whether he can carry on with that. But at the moment, Anders is looking very dangerous every time he's on the ball here.
Chance, finesse, save from icon Petr. You could just see a score come through there as well. Matías Bonano leading by 2 goals to 0 in his opening tie there. Matthäus now can't find a way past Konate, but it's worth mentioning, Dan, absolutely, there are 4 games taking place at the exact same time here.
Yeah, Bonano beating MS Dasari 2-0 at the moment, and we'll have to see whether Dasari can come back into that one as we get more updates across the board. But the early stages of this game, it has been the majority Anders Vejrgang going forward, but now a chance maybe for PHzin.
Well, let's see what PHzin can do in this final third. Didn't last too long there, as he was just dispossessed. The other game that's taking place this round as well is Manabashore against Nicholas. Keep in mind, there is an A and a B stream available here from the Esports World Cup. You can see the scoreline there, 1-1. It was Nicholas that left it to the last chance qualifier to book his spot at this Esports World Cup. That was just a few days ago here in Riyadh, where he had to travel out and play 3 days more than anyone else, Dan, which I'll be interested to see if the fatigue hits in for Nicholas, but his consistency never seems to change.
Yeah, there's talk of fatigue, but also there's momentum, and there's having those games and those competitive matches under your belt. And we saw how successful Jafonso was earlier today in Group A, able to get 6 points on the board from 9 as we look over to another replay here, and it is Nathan versus Goal Poacher again. And it is going to be, it looked like it was going to be a chance there for the first, but it's Mbappe who follows up, and Nathan makes it 2, as now Havertz is through on goal.
Well, PHzin's first chance in the box for Anders Vejrgang could be in. It is Haaland. Will open up the count. Well, PHzin is his first real shot on target. It's his first time in the box of Anders Vejrgang. And just like that, we've been speaking about how dominant he's been in these first 15 in-game minutes, but what does it mean? It means nothing.
And it was as we jumped back as well from the previous replay, so I don't know how heavily Anders committed defensively to try and stop that switch over to the right-hand side, but it just seemed to open up so much space for PHzin to work with. And then he made it look so simple to manage to take a lead here, and now we're going to have to see just how good Anders Vejrgang is as he tries to wrestle back this game from a 1-0 deficit.
If you remember rightly so, from the FC Pro World Championship in Berlin, he basically led in every single game that he played, and he had some ridiculous scorelines, especially in the quarter-final, semi-final, grand final, 6-0, 7-0. He's very much a player that likes to have the control of the tie by scoring first and then really just implementing his game plan onto the game. PHzin, if he's got a game plan, it's gone perfectly to a T at the moment.
PHzin doing very well to stop the attacks that are coming through, but maybe not this one.
Mbappe, ball roll. Chance for Matthäus. Again, it's all time green from Anders in the final third, but at the moment, PHzin is weathering the storm well.
Anders is certainly trying to direct a lot of traffic through the middle here and trying to use his skill set, how good he is on the ball to try and break through the defence of PHzin, but at the moment, PHzin has held on very well.
Update over here. MS Dasari might want to look away because he's 3-0 down against Matías Bonano. What a start for Manchester City Esports. And what a start this could be for PHzin, who looks for a second. Lofted out wide into Kai Havertz. Haaland back to defend, but just back on that point you made there, Dan. We know how deadly the aerial plus is and how sort of difficult it's been for players to deal with. Corners, continuous crossing, headers everywhere, long ball forward. You'll notice with Anders, he doesn't want to fall back on that. Hence why, to your point you've just made, he's always direct down the middle. He's always looking to spam the step-overs in the nicest way you can say it. And then if he needs to fall back on a corner, he might later on into the game.
He's a man who sticks to his laurels, that's for sure. And defensively, PHzin, though, is matching him stride for stride. And that frustration might start to kick in for Anders, and he may start to try and go down different avenues. As you can see, Nathan has a 2-1 lead over Goal Poacher right now.
PHzin, back over to you, my friend. What a ball that could be into Haaland. Is it a second? John Stones is the hero this time, as he was before in Berlin a few weeks ago, slotting in at left back, and that time offering a goal line clearance, because that would have been 2-0 for Lula's PHzin. If you have just tuned in, this is the Esports World Cup featuring EA FC 24, and this is day one of the group stages. And we've just seen Group A conclude, and a couple of shocks along the way there, including Johnny and Fnatic, who is 0-3 as it currently stands. But what a day for Jafonzo and Young. Currently those two leading the top of that group.
Anders really is starting to get frustrated here by PHzin, and he just needs to be careful that he doesn't give the ball away as he tries to force his way through the middle here. But it is going to be a strike, and Czech saves it, but slightly different from Vejrgang. You notice there was a little bit of space, goes for the shot, times it green. And I think that if PHzin doesn't take a multiple goal lead here, Anders is always going to be breathing down his neck.
Speaking of John Stones, he scored a couple of goals, didn't he, in Group A for Levi David. Not on this occasion. Is matched up, believe it or not, by Hossler. Yeah, that is the striker, the Spaniard of Real Madrid, playing as a right back. In case you haven't been following FC 24, that's where he's featured for the last couple of months, just to stop the aerial plus danger. Desari hasn't just pulled one back, Dan. He's pulled two back. 32 minutes on the clock there. Banana was running away with it, but as we've come to see here in Riyadh, no one is safe, even with a 3-goal scoreline.
I mean, Desari was a world champion for a reason, and arguably one of the best to ever do it. And is certainly up there with that conversation, so great effort from him.
Cristiano Ronaldo. PHzin, he's on a play. Hosselu comes across, he gets something on it. Might have been an ankle. Whatever it was, it kept PHzin out for a second. Here comes that trademark cross. Petr is on the ground. He's given away another corner. He may have survived that corner, Anders, but he's got another one coming thick and fast. In towards that front post he goes. Hosselu was able to defend it. This has been a frantic game.
Very well defended, though, initially. I mean, we've seen players struggle to defend those corners all day today, but bravely moves the goalkeeper out and says, actually, I'll take the challenge. If anyone can beat Haaland in the air, it's a goalkeeper with his hands up. And sadly, PHzin not able to double his lead just yet.
Mbappe getting just pulled apart there. That was an ambitious finesse from distance. The only thing that surprised me on that, Dan, is that it wasn't time green. Everything that seems to go through Anders' hands is always green.
You saw there as well, all tied up. 1-1, Manibouchore not able to find the lead just yet, but here's Havertz.
Keep an eye on the back post there. Haaland is in acres of space. PHzin leads by 2-0. And Anders Vejrgang is just shook. He can't believe what's happening.
And you said it, the amount of space that was there, it was almost unmissable for PHzin. As soon as he saw Haaland striding forward, it was just a matter of time before you put that ball anywhere near him. Doesn't matter if it's on his head, his chest, his foot, he's going to put that one away. And now, Anders has a big job to do to try and get back into this game. PHzin just looks very comfortable going forward and seems to be happy to go down the route of playing crosses, which we've not really seen from Anders yet, and perhaps he is going to have to dig into plan B here if he wants to beat PHzin.
Well, his famous words that he always uses here is, people only can beat me when they're abusing aerial plus and basically playing the meta of the game, which is, in the nicest way, when you've got $300,000 on the line and trophies, what are you going to do, Dan? You're going to try and play pretty football, or you're going to try and do what you can? Update there, Libertadores champion Nathan Essar leads Goal Poacher 3-1. PHzin could be 3-0 up, it's just offside. That would have been a horrible ending to the first half there for Vejrgang.
Yeah, just a few more minutes and maybe a chance for Vejrgang to just hold on to the ball and take the last attack if you'd like it, but also maybe he thinks he could try and get multiple attacks if he goes forward quite quickly here. A lot of room is being given to him on the wings, but this is not the Anders Vejrgang that I saw a few weeks ago, Brandon, right? This is not the best player in the world, the best player in the game, the best to ever do it. At the moment, he looks a little bit lost.
But he was his main match this season, where he looked unsettled. You remember the celebration in the FC Pro Open final. 3-2 still there at half-time. What a comeback that's been from Desari, by the way. He's 3-0 down in 20 in-game minutes. Is there a chance, before we go into half-time for Anders, just to restore a goal and a bit of confidence? We have to speak about it as we go into the break, though, Dan. PHzin has done such a good job of just sucking up all this pressure that has come his way. I would love to see the stats half-time. There must have been at least 8-9 shots that have come his way, and he's managed it all.
When Vejrgang's not happy about something, and whether it's just how things have been going so far, or just, as you mentioned, the fact he can't break through the defense of PHzin, it's almost like he's got a good read on Anders and how he's going to approach this game, and he almost is giving him space on the wing and saying, I know he's not going to attack it because he wants to hit me with his technical ability in and around that box. And every time that Anders has tried to approach through the middle, PHzin has been there waiting with the likes of Virgil van Dijk and has matched him so successfully. And not only that, as he's been going forward, he's just always found that extra pass and been able to charge those players into space. And now PHzin with a 2-0 lead going into the second half here. And it looks like if a third one was going to arrive, he'd be in cruise control.
There's many versions of Anders Vejrgang you don't want to play against. One of them is when he's sort of so angry at himself that he demands a completely different level of performance from him. You can see some in a few words with the admin there. I can assure, alongside the frustrations that he's feeling, he's probably not happy with something on those lines. PHzin, though, you could not ask for much more than this. First outing of your new club here in Saudi Arabia. Alula FC will be over the moon with the signing they put into their esports team in this last week. Anders with it all to do. Remember, 9-minute halves. There is so much time still to be played in this game. But you're absolutely right, Dan. If PHzin can get himself a third, he's going to be in potential cruise control here. Great feed there. Just does enough to pull out the tackle there from John Stones. Possession goes on the opposite side now. Seen PHzin lean into that heavy crossing meta, which FC24 has sort of been all about. Whoever's got an aerial plus play style seems just to fall into the team.
But this is perfect from PHzin, right? He's holding onto the ball. He's just slowly making his way up the pitch. And I was going to say that in case he makes a mistake, he's going to be eating away at that clock already. But now Vejrgang does have a chance to try and attack here. And he always is dangerous when going forward. But again, PHzin has his number.
I think it was at the Euros earlier this year in Berlin before he went and became world champion. Every single game he played, he went 2-0 down first, then somehow came back and won the game. I'm not saying that's going to be the case here, but he's not so familiar from sort of coming behind in these situations. That's a poor pass there.
One thing I've always given credit to the best players in the game in FC is those who can read their opponents, can work out where they're being unsuccessful, and then break through and find out where their weaknesses are. And that's certainly something that Anders has provided to us over the years here.
Just needs a goal or something to get him going. PHzin, as we said, did such a good job of sucking up all this pressure, winning those big 50-50s, as we just saw there with John Stones. This would really shake up the group. Remember, 8 players in the group, top 3 go straight through those final knockout stages. And there is the resurrection stage of the competition. Is he onside? No, he's not. And for the bottom 2 players, you are straight on eliminated from the tournament. That'll be the end of your road here at the Esports World Cup featuring EA FC 24.
Well, a replay from one of the other games, and it's Bonanno versus MS Desari, and it is Desari putting one on the board to make it 4-3 as we jump back over to PHzin attacking yet again! Oh my goodness gracious, what have we just seen?
PHzin, 3-0. Speak about turning up and putting on a show. He is silenced the current world champion. Pull in with a touch, time green finesse, top bins, thank you very much. What performance we are seeing from PHzin.
And you can see in the player feed as well, Vejrgang clearly not happy about it. Nathan's taking a 4-1 lead against Goal Poacher, by the way, and that one's looking like he should come out the victor unless we see a miraculous comeback. Speaking of miraculous comebacks, it's going to have to be a little bit of magic here from Anders, and we've seen it, we've witnessed it, we've been there, but is it going to be another one of those days?
Those are the moments, Dan, when it's not sort of gluing together, those passes are going astray. PHzin will sit there and think, look, that's another chance I've been able to manage. We mentioned at half-time, if this came 3-0, how much of a great position he'd be in. There is still time to be played here.
I mean, it just seems like
game management.
He's got his number here, Brandon. Like, every pass he's reading, he's moving defenders just to block off these passes. He's expecting the attack to come through the middle. And PHzin, if he finds a fourth here, it would be game over.
Long ball over the top. Goes all the way through, and John Stones is able to pick it up. That's a massive win. De Bruyne. What a pass. Cristiano Ronaldo, he's offside. I think Anders there just turning around saying, calm down. He's offside, it doesn't count.
He's the only man who could be 3-0 down and still having a go at the crowd.
Well, look, 6 more group games to play following this one. They'll play 3 games today here in day 1 of the competition. They'll be back again tomorrow to finish off those all-important group stages. And you could skip a day and come back into day 4 of the tour. We have an update over here. We haven't really spoken about this game at all. 2 all square, 70 minutes on the clock. Man Bishore pulling back another goal there. Shot from distance. There's one. We saw Hullet firing one from the opposite end. It might be a fortunate bounce back. Anders Vejrgang has pulled one back.
He loves it, doesn't he? Anders, he's always happy to have a little scrap with the crowd, but there is still a job to do here. Does get a second bite of the cherry. The ball bounces favourably, but he makes it count, and that is the danger. PHzin needs to be aware. You're going up against Anders Vejrgang. It is not just any old player. You can't give him any sort of opening here because he will take it.
That goal as well, Dan, it just puts that seed of doubt in your mind. Best thing that PHzin could do, as obvious as it sounds, go down the other end and get yourself another goal and sit on a 3-goal cushion once again. Easier said than done, as this constant press will now follow. Let's keep possession there still. Haaland out wide. Having to find Cristiano, maybe a finesse. Could have been an option there for De Bruyne, just got his legs in a tangle.
Real chance now for Anders, though, on the counter-attack. Every single time that PHzin does go forward, you know that Anders is going to be relishing the chance and trying to break through, but gives the ball away. And every time Anders does go forward, there is going to be space opened up at the back that PHzin will look to try and take advantage of, because he will want this 3-goal lead reinstated.
Just doing what he can, just diving into the tackle. Still can't find a way through because PHzin has just been outside onto the ball. So nice step over exit. Mbappe pulls out a save from Czech, keeps possession. With the help of a corner, quick corner comes in, should be easy pickings for the goalkeeper, and it will be. Final 15 in-game minutes now. He will get a couple of chances, but the ball's got to get moving up the other side of the pitch ASAP.
Vejrgang has done well at defending corners here, by the way. He's really negated them. And he could find a chance off the back of it here. Nice quick 1-2s.
Haaland will be waiting for it in the box, but it's just not really been in his DNA, that crossing meta. So direct down the middle, looking for those step overs with the speed boost exit every single time. It's been just the way he plays. PHzin might have something to say about that, though. Cristiano Ronaldo did so well there. He just ball rolled to the side, got a little bit of room. Man Bishore, what a turnaround for him. 2-1 down against Nicholas, now leads 3-2. All these games are taking place here in Group B, in the same group, believe it or not. It's just doing what he needs to do with Dan. More minutes out of the game.
I mean, a real chance here if he plays it right as well. You can see he's just waiting for Vejrgang just to step out and make that mistake.
Penalty! It gets even worse. PHzin with one hell of a chance to go 4-1 up. He does. What a start to his Esports World Cup journey this is. A 4-1 win in a rematch we've all been waiting to see.
It's the 3-goal lead reinstated, and it was just a desperate attempt from Anders to try and win that ball back, and just gives away a silly penalty here, and I think that's what we saw PHzin playing for. Just passing that ball around the box, waiting for a mistake to happen. I thought it would be more a player stepping out and a gap opens up, but the player stepping into the challenge now surely puts PHzin just out of reach here. There's not much time left in this game for Anders Vejrgang to get back into it. But a tournament is not won in your first match of the group stages. There is still plenty of time for Anders to come back and show us why he won the FC World Championship. As we look back now at a replay, and it's Manu Bature versus Nicholas, and it's Manu Bature taking a 4-2 lead over there. And Nicholas looks like he's going to have to try and do something desperate in the last final moments of that game as well.
I know it's only the first opening game of this group, Dan, but you look and you question. I know these are two absolute insanely talented players. PHzin didn't make out the group stages at the FC Pro World Championship. I'm sure that was a wake-up call to him to go away and just really put in the graft, really try and finalise his game. And of course, these players didn't know the groups until a few days ago, but when he saw that, the first thing he said, I remember on media day, was they're going to make that the first game on broadcast, aren't they? And I'm going to be ready for it.
He has certainly put in the homework, and you can see it. Every single time that Vejrgang's asked a question, PHzin has had the answer here. And he looks to try and put him to bed right now with this attack.
Surely not a fifth. Havertz, R9. You can understand there's so many bodies forward from Anders just to claw anything back, but even with 9.5, 3 goals in 7 in-game minutes is a bit of an ask. R9 round the corner, wow, Weghorst makes it 5. And for the first time in this game, he's leaning into that Saudi Arabian support.
The goggles are out again in full force, and PHzin living this moment. The crowd very much on his side, and I wonder how much of that crowd has played into the performance of Anders Vejrgang here, because he seems a bit rattled. Headphones are off. He's hearing every single jeer coming from that audience, and he was kind of going back at them. Seemed distracted. And his performance has somewhat shown. We look back at the replay of this goal. I mean, once you're in this position and you see that much space in the middle, Weghorst slots it home. And you said there wasn't enough time for 3 goals. There's definitely not enough time for 4.
What a performance. Unfortunately for Anders, they're the red time finishes that you want to go in earlier on into the game. 85 minutes on the clock. This game is done and dusted. You can put out the gritty all he wants.
I would like to run tests on Anders Vejrgang, right, and just see into the brain of this boy, because he is something else. I love it. FC Esports has missed a character like this for years, right? He's 5-2 down, and he's still having a little gestures towards the crowd. And I mean, we look back at the replay, it was timed red, but it doesn't matter at this point. PHzin has surely locked this one in. It would have to be win back the ball, score a goal instantly, win back the ball, score instantly. It's just the time is not on your side.
What's happening over here? Bonanno,
hold on,
pulling away. 5 goals to 3. For a second, I thought the Sire was about to pull it back to 4-4. 5-3, there's the update on your screen. Bonanno looks like he's going to be challenging PHzin for the top of this group. The goal difference will slightly be in favour of Alula's newest acquisition. But look, we waited a long time for this game. There was a lot to talk over and what the score was going to be. And he's played it so well. PHzin kicking off his Esports World Cup featuring EA FC journey with a huge 3 points. I mean, look, we say this is a big game, Dan. You look anywhere in this group or anywhere in this tournament, every game is basically a cup final.
What I will say is, you know full well Anders Vejrgang is going to come back hot in these next couple of matchups. maybe with less of a distraction from the crowd. 3 minutes of added on time, a chance maybe to improve your goal difference, because that could come into play with tiebreakers at the end of this tournament. And he will fire one home.
It's something, as you're right to say, Dan, that could come into play later on down the line.
Well, he certainly is still himself. He's a character, and I love it. But it's going to be a loss for him. But how will this affect him going into the next couple of games now? Because he is one of the best players in the world, if not the best at the moment, right? PHzin has had an answer to everything he's offered up. But this will annoy him, and he will want to go into these next games and prove a point and make a statement.
Well, the best way he's played this game, Dan, he's got into a leading position and he's made and has always chased the game. Even you play another 15 game minutes here, what could be? But he's had a 3-goal cushion, he's had a 2-goal cushion. He's reinstated those leader moments when he's needed to, and the pressure's been on his shoulders. What a game it's been. PHzin, massive 3 points in the first opening group stage match here in the Esports World Cup. No one is safe. You might have been a world champion a few weeks ago, but you're coming into a completely different tournament.